wanna watch you move.
Everyone, you're listening to Big Blend Radio with Nancy and Lisa, and you just heard In Your Hands by Nichole Alden, and you can go to aldenmusic.com. And Nichole is a world traveler. She's an educator, a singer-songwriter, as you can hear, amazing. And, you know, here's the deal. We met her because she created a luxurious silk hypoallergenic travel sheet that we love. It's called Brave Era. Go to braveera.com right now. And she created it especially for women, though I know some men who like the little silkiness. But we're really happy to have her join us on Big Blend Radio today to talk about her travels, creating Brave Era, this amazing travel sheet, and, of course, her music. Nichole, how are you?
How are you, Lisa and Nancy? So nice to talk to you.
You too. You too. Number one, like, can I just say badass singer, man? This is amazing. You know, it's like, hey, we want to bring you on to talk about your travel sheet, but hey, I got some music too. Like, really? Wow. Does everything you do, like, is it all that good? I mean, it's amazing.
That's funny. Well, you had mentioned you were in the music industry, so that's why we connected on that. So I was excited to share that with you.
Yeah. I'm really appreciative because it's so cool to play it on the radio show today, and your voice is so dynamic, and your music, the lyrics, the melody, everything is so dynamic, and I think that ties into your travel sheet, is that you know comfort, and you want people to be comfortable, and someone listening to music has to have that feeling, you know. Tell us about how you decided, like, a travel sheet, because I think this is ingenious. When I heard about it, I was like, Oh, we have to have one of those because I'm one of those people who just don't do really well in a lot of hotel rooms because I'll wake up in the morning, I'll have bumps all over me, and it's really, I think, the detergent most of the time. But I also think because it's kind of like a little, it's like a sheet sleeping bag that's even super cool if you're hiking and you're like in Costa Rica or you're in the desert or something like that.
Definitely. Actually, yeah, of course, anyone, male or female, can use the travel sheet, but women tend to get way more excited about it. I think because we do care a little bit more about comfort. I know a lot of guys who would be fairly comfortable sleeping on a pile of sticks and not complain about it camping or something, but I'm definitely not in that category. Growing up, my mom used to, and I love that you guys are a mother-daughter team. I think that's so awesome. I'm really close with my mom, too.
Cool.
And growing up, my mom used to joke that I was the princess and the pea. I don't know if you remember that old story.
Yeah.
But for those who don't remember, right, it's the princess, oh gosh, now I'm going to have trouble recalling it, but they were trying to figure out who the princess was, and the only way they were going to be able to tell was by putting this tiny pea under a bunch of stacks of mattresses, right? So, and the true princess would be able to tell and not be able to sleep from sheer discomfort from that one little pea. And for better or for worse, I guess I've always been that level.
Nancy. See, Nancy's like that about where she sleeps, but I'm like that about the linens because, it's like, to me, it's got to do with detergent for me. I'm sorry, but hotels, we've been talking about sustainable tourism on this show all day, and I just want to say, can you stop it? But it's okay. I don't have to tell you anymore because I could take my travel sheet, my Brave era, and say I can go anywhere and be comfortable. Well, no, because it's a big deal, and I think these sleeping bags, that's one of the things we've had a problem with, is you go in a sleeping bag.
It's hot.
And I don't know if I'm reaching that certain age, but like I get a little sweaty at night, or maybe, I don't know if it's my partner,
hot.
but I'm kidding.
I mean, they're not that comfy.
Yeah, the sleeping bag doesn't feel as good as the sheet.
No, not at all. Well, it's silk. I mean, you can't go wrong with silk. Even coming home after a trip and I get into my pretty comfortable bed, it's still not even the same level of comfort as the silk travel sheet. And I'm really not at the point where I can afford silk sheets at home. They're quite costly. So I have to enjoy it while I'm traveling.
Yeah, you're it's over a year old now on the company Brave Era?
Indeed, we started selling in November of 2016, and it's been a really exciting ride. Listening to Adam, your previous guest on the show, who was fascinating. I loved that conversation, talking about, visiting animals in their natural habitat as opposed to zoos and, kind of the unkind places. Actually, the place I really kind of fell in love with the idea of doing a travel sheet was Tanzania in Africa.
Oh, our neighboring country of Kenya was our home. So, yeah.
Absolutely, because I was very, very fortunate to tag along with a friend who was traveling to Tanzania, and that really was the most amazing travel experience of my life, to see those animals in their natural habitat. I've never been a fan of zoos or circuses or when I was a kid, all that stuff freaked me out.
We love you even more.
So, but this is like a real chance to just kind of go off with a driver, and sometimes you drive miles and miles and not see a thing, and that's fine. And then occasionally you get lucky and see something really amazing, a lion, giraffes, just the zebras, that experience just changed everything for me. And so that was really the impetus to me starting to travel with sleeping bag liners, which were very similar to what I ended up creating, mostly because I was afraid to get malaria at the time. My travel doctor said...
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, really that was, of course you're sleeping in most places, under a mosquito net, but, a lot of those are old. There's holes mosquitoes are still getting in.
And there's blood on them from someone still smacking something, Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. You spent some time in Africa. So, so I treated one of those sleeping bag liners with a permethrin, I think is how you pronounce the chrysanthemum derivative. So it's a natural byproduct.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that, I guess, detracts the mosquitoes. And I didn't have any trouble. And I felt really confident sleeping like that, each night without worrying.
And with this, you can spray, whatever you want to spray on it, right? If you want to get, because I know that's one of the things people are going to go, okay, but, I'm going into crazy land of, maybe, I know some areas in Louisiana, man, they call the state bird the mosquito, So that's what they call it, So it's you've got to, there's some areas where it really does get crazy, but you are going to need to spray something. And please don't do the DEET thing. I don't know. I mean, sometimes, I don't know. That's not nice. So there's you can spray it on there, right?
Oh, absolutely. And so that's why, we don't manufacture any of those chemicals personally for a lot of reasons. It's just, I don't know, it's not in my wheelhouse. But, and of course, our sheets are all completely naturally hypoallergenic, and they're not treated with any chemicals at all. So that's important to me. But for those, and I grew up in Florida, so believe me, I know a little bit about mosquitoes. For those who are going to places with mosquitoes or worried about bed bugs, they definitely have the option to treat it, just like I did with my sheet in Africa. And another little tip, and this is thanks to my travel doctor, this amazing, wonderful woman who I think spent 20 years traveling the world providing medical care to underserved communities. And that's, she was the one who told me to do this because she'd made many trips to Tanzania, actually. And she said, go ahead and treat all of your clothes and things, including the sheet, with this mosquito repellent, the natural, not DEET, but, the chrysanthemum derivative. And then she said, what I do every time is leave all of my clothing there, because obviously I don't need that, back here in the States necessarily. And that way, who knows, you may have saved tens, 100 lives potentially from the different people who could possibly, wear your clothes for years and years. That stuff can last for 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years if it's not washed too much.
Oh.
And so I felt and I came back with the clothes on my back wearing a pair of flip-flops because I was so excited to do her plan, And
no, that is so
there.
smart, too, because you're also not transferring things back and forth, I mean, just like I was saying at the beginning of the show about, we have to clean our stuff off before we go into national parks now because of, this fungus going onto bats, and it's something we don't really normally think of. You drive in and you go, hey, let's go for a hike. But now they're clean off your backpack, clean at the bottom of your shoes because you're tracking things in from another county or maybe another country. And how do you know? So I think she's absolutely right with that. That is so cool. And then that gives people clothes. And that's a big deal because it's hard out in different areas,
Absolutely.
It's interesting. You've been to Tanzania and Zanzibar. So you went to Freddie Mercury's home country, man. Queen. Yeah. Did you see his house?
On accident.
So you travel like Nancy and I. So you went there by accident? That's cool.
Well, that wasn't necessarily part of the plan, but it was, I mean, Tanzania was amazing. Zanzibar was also just such an awesome experience just to be in the water in another part of the world like that with such different creatures. I mean, I feel like we know so little about what's in our oceans still. And, certainly there were all kinds of fish and wildlife, aquatic wildlife that I've never seen before, anywhere else in the U.S. and Thailand, anywhere else where I've been lucky to swim. So it was really amazing.
When did you start traveling? Because I know you've been to Western Europe, Scandinavia, you sent me this Greece, Thailand, Japan, China, Taiwan, Costa Rica, Iceland. So many people are going to Iceland. It seems like it's the coolest place to go, literally, and then there's hot springs and stuff. But what started your travel bug for you, and what age did you start traveling?
Well, my mom was actually an Army brat. That's what they call them. I don't think she was probably that bratty, but I guess that's what they call them. And so she grew up all over the world and spoke, as I was growing up, 7 different languages. I unfortunately did not get that gene, but I struggle with barely a second and maybe understanding slightly a third and a couple other phrases from various others. But growing up, I grew up in Florida, and occasionally I was lucky to go to Disney World. Of course, as a kid, that's where you want to go on your birthday. And and I just remember being in line at Disney World, and my mother could practically understand everyone around us and have conversations with different people in line from all over the world. I mean, she spoke everything from, Italian, German, Russian, Hebrew. I mean, just really mind-blowing. So, it was, again,
That's
this is, I was really impressed. And I think for me, kind of just being exposed to that and getting so curious about all of these different people who were coming to Florida, which is, as you know, a big tourism state. I think I just thought already, I want to explore and kind of be the foreigner in all of these people's countries and see what's going on there, So I think that was kind of the impetus when I was younger, is just, kind of growing up in a household where, my mom had all of this experience living abroad. So it seemed just very natural to want to explore.
Yeah, that's kind of for me too. I mean, we kind of did as a young kid, with Nancy being, the helm of like, we're going here, okay, going here, okay, cool. Like, and then it's like I know that you were an elementary school teacher, but I hope you don't mind that I went to 16 different schools in my life.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
That's a headache for your teacher.
I know Macbeth really well.
It didn't hurt you.
No, it didn't. There was some gaps in there too, because we went on a tour of South Africa for 2.5 years where she was homeschooling me, and they had to test me, go into schools and check on my work. And later I did screw up on math, because like the trigonometry thing at that point, I was like, dude, listen,
really?
I know how to haggle, in India with Indian people, but like, no, I mean,
trigonometry
like,
is
if you can,
do you use it every day?
I don't know when the last time you needed to know that.
To me.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, but yeah, but it's so cool. Like, when we got back to this country after living in South Africa, we lived in Florida. That was our first place because some of our family lived there, and we lived in Melbourne. Well, first place was Port St. Lucie, and then Nancy moved to West Palm, and I was in Melbourne. And then we went on this vacation together after a couple of years of living here, and we went to all over the place. We went to Caribbean, we did all these things, but we ended up at the Epcot Center. And I'm not a Disney person, honestly, but because I didn't grow up that way, just different lifestyle. But we went to the Epcot Center, and that blew my mind totally. I just went like, okay, I may be 19, but at that point, I'm like, I'm not done now. Now I have to like start all over. I felt like I had to start my life again, because it was like all these different countries, and they had a ride per country or continent, and like a restaurant and all these different things. And we went through Morocco, we went through Norway with trolls, Canada, and all these different places. All I know is I did have too much to drink on that little round because they had all these different bars. No, I must have been over 21 at that time.
I was going to say, be careful here.
Because I remember coming over the plane, they wouldn't let me have a drink, and I was like, what? I'm 18, like 19, and they're coming into the States. They're like, no. How rude of you. And I'm like, what? I'm South African. But anyhow, I remember us having this big party and enjoying going from country to country to country. And I woke up the next morning, I'm like, dude, there's so many more countries we have to see. Let's go. Because the Epcot Center was the coolest thing. Did you ever go to the Epcot Center when you were in Florida?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you know what I'm talking about, the craziness.
And I remember the troll, actually, in Norway. In actual Norway, I never ran across a troll, but there was definitely one at Epcot Center.
That
was
big
pretty
troll.
Cool.
There's that big troll. And the Moroccan restaurant, too.
My mom's second husband was that troll.
Yeah, he did. He looks like the troll, but anyway, he's from Guernsey, the Isle of Man, but he's passed on, and he really was like a troll person.
He was. He looked just like it.
He was a mean troll, but anyway, so we can say that. We can. We can. But sorry. But no, but that's so cool. So that's so cool that you've seen the troll, because I haven't talked to anybody who's seen the troll in Norway.
I remember. It's been years, but I do remember it.
Okay, so it was a long time ago. So now you travel all over. So is this something? Do you like just go? Okay, every year I'm going to go somewhere new, or how do you and how like now with your business? I mean, a year in, and I know this is. Doing your own company, it's not easy because I know you've got product to deliver and ship out, and I know it's a good product.
Oh yeah, it's definitely been really a lot of work, but extremely rewarding and exciting. And so I'm really excited to get up every day and kind of tackle the next problem and learn. And I am a lifelong learner. I did work in education, and so there's no shortage of new things to learn on a daily basis running a company. So to answer your question, I mean, before when I was working in education and I was doing the music thing, teaching was my day job while I pursued music because I got benefits with teaching. And as you might have heard, they're not really handing out, health benefits when you're a rock musician.
Really? or anyone at this point. But anyway, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
That's true. That's true. So it provided kind of a nice balance. And, I did get to travel a little bit because, just kind of, not that I ever really had money to travel. Because it's weird. You run into people and they're like, oh, you're so lucky. Oh, yeah. It's like, no, I sublet my apartment. I sold half my stuff. I scraped together money, and I traveled with a backpack eating off the same loaf of bread for days at a time with a jar of peanut butter. Like, this is not, if you want to travel, you make it happen. You don't wait to, you don't really wait for travel to find you, And I know you know that. So
yeah. But that's it. I know about the peanut butter and the bread. That is it. I remember in South Africa when we were on the tour, they had these like cracker things, and we were eating mustard and crackers. Remember? Yeah. Living on mustard and crackers, and people would look at us and was like, "There's wheat in there." Like, it's all good. It's all good.
The funny thing is, I just went on an entrepreneurial trip, the one to Iceland, which was just a few months ago this fall, and I was getting so much flack from the other people on that trip because, again, I mean, this is, now it was 2016, whatever then, or sorry, 17, end of 17, and there I was again after, decades of traveling with my jar of peanut butter because it was expensive in Iceland. I mean, the meals there, it's no joke. So, of course, I'm there with a bunch of other entrepreneurs. We're all at kind of different levels of, starting out, a little more established. And I'm still in crunch mode over here, really trying to provide an amazing product, make it work. I don't really spare any expense in production and marketing and, making sure everything looks good. And it costs money, So there I was with my loaf of bread and my peanut butter again, just like I was in my 20s. And I was backpacking through Europe. I was like, here I am. But hey, I got to go to Iceland, so there it is.
That's so cool. But I want to ask you, do you think you might make pillowcases? And the reason I ask is because I wanted to bring up, I think the hotels do a really good job. They clean a lot. Mm-hmm. But there's such a thing called the dust mite. And there's a difference between cleaning the pillowcases and the pillows.
Yes.
And
I'm so glad you bring that up.
I just want to say the dust mites are a really industrious little creature.
And they give you bumps too on your skin. Well, and it can take up to 6 months to get rid of.
And I just think that something should go over.
Well, your sheet does. Your sheet has that, but there's like, we want pillows cases.
Yeah.
Yes. So in the travel sheet that I sent over to Lisa to check, the travel sheet itself has a built-in pillowcase. So for one, the travel sheet on purpose, because I'm also sketched out by pillows, I actually change my pillows at home. This is actually part of my routine. Not too many people know this, but it'll sound a little eccentric, but then hopefully it'll sound nice. So this is my routine. I live in Santa Monica. Unfortunately, we have a pretty high homeless population here, but the weather's great. So, I guess that, there's a lot of reasons to be here, a lot of tourists, a lot of generous citizens that, help take care of the homeless here. So every 6 months, even at home, I change out my pillows. I don't spend a lot of money on new pillows, go to Costco or Target or wherever, and I'll bring my old pillows to homeless people on the street right about 7 or 8 o'clock whenever people are starting to lie down for the night, find a little nook. And that's just one of the little things I do to try to help out in the neighborhood is, because I feel like, okay, it's maybe a little gratuitous that I'm changing them out every 6 months, and they're probably fine. That's just me. Again, I did make the travel sheet, so we know I'm a little particular about these things.
Yeah.
No,
it's cool. Yeah.
But we know the hotels. The hotels are certainly not changing them every 6 months.
They're not. They're not. And the thing, to me, is I like having a little hoodie because, okay, like I know places where like you were saying about the mosquito, America doesn't seem to know about the mosquito tent. Like they don't seem to have the whole drop. I've never seen the drop down like here you can cover your bed.
No.
And I know, like, here's the thing to me, I don't want things in my ears, in my nose, and my mouth. And I remember in South Africa, a friend of mine in boarding school that I only lasted for a year because I'm not good at it. She had a slug crawl across her mouth, right?
Oh.
But she was one of the girls none of us liked because she was,
No, stop.
But anyway, so we thought it was funny. This is teenage girls, right? But anyway, the thing is, there's a thing about covering your ears, like you want a hoodie almost, and that's what I like about it. Like, to me, it's comfortable, you feel good, and when you're traveling, you can walk into the gnarliest places and flip-flops. Everyone travel with flip-flops. Get in the shower with them. Don't walk barefoot. Yeah. I'm a barefoot person. Put your flip-flops on, and when you go to bed, keep them on. No, but even like being able to have a little bit of this luxury allows you to go, okay, it's not that bad. I don't have to freak out all night. Because if you do not have a good night's sleep, you're going to suck the next day, and you're not going to enjoy what you went there for. So to me, that's why having like tools like this and that it fits in a backpack. So what I did with the travel sheet, right? So I slept with it in my bed. And it's probably going to stay there for a while. So I'm just saying. But I decided, because I'm a Virgo and I am a neat freak and everything, and everything has to be orderly. But then there's this complete opposite personality of being a complete mess. And so you can fold it up and put it in. It's got this little pocket. And so I'm like, I'm testing the sound. This is all cool. And I'm like, oh, I better fold it all nice. But I didn't. I just like grabbed it all up and did exactly what I would do, and I could fit it in the little pocket that it comes with, and it will fit into everything. So you can be a mess like me and just crunch it all up, and it will still fit in that little pocket. That's so cool. That's the beauty of silk, right?
Thank you. And you know what? That was by design, because one of my pet peeves with so many travel products that try to be compact is that, and even like air mattresses, there's so many things that fall on this list where when you buy the product, it fits in the bag it came in. But as soon as you use it once, there is no way you will ever get it back into whatever pouch, bag, net, mesh, whatever thing. And, as I was designing this, that was top on my mind because it's such a pet peeve. Nobody has a machine folding mechanism at home that they can get it back like the factory. I mean, that's ridiculous. So I definitely
you need the
thought
vacuum
about that.
the vacuum cleaner. Take it with you so you can vacuum pack your clothes.
Oh yeah, and then what do? Take that with you on your travel?
Yeah, you take your vacuum cleaner with you so you can vacuum pack your clothes.
So you can get back home.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry. No, she's leaving her clothes behind, remember? So that doesn't work.
Yeah,
she's taking her
they
sheet
won't
with
go
her.
back into the suitcase.
You could put the pocket with the sheet in it. You could attach it to a carabiner and connect it to your loopholes on your jeans or something.
I would probably
your backpack.
actually put the sheet on the airplane.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Like seriously. Are you gonna make?
We have had quite a few people talk about using it on an airplane. Actually, a few flight attendants posed. I could find those pictures somewhere, but showed they were using them in the airplane seats. And there are a couple of products kind of in development. They're hush-hush still because they're still in development that will be designed for airplane use. So I will leave that to the imagination for now, but in 2018, those should be available. So, and then just to speak on that last point, I think for us, if you're an adventurous traveler, I mean, there's different types of travelers, right?
Sure.
There are people who want to go in a tour group. They want to stay at a 5-star, 4-star hotel. They don't really want to mingle with local people. They want to hang out with the people they came with, stay there or there, take a couple shots for Instagram, go home. That's not me. I don't think that's you. It's not most of the people I know. So the reason I was excited to make this product was the type of traveling I do and adventurous travelers and adventurous women travelers, we want to go to kind of the parts unknown, to the places that are kind of less traveled. And so this is kind of a way to bring luxury, a little bit of kind of security blanket luxury with you. And you can stay at that crazy tented camp in the middle of the wilderness with, where otherwise you just might not be sure about that. But there's that little safety in bringing this product. And, for me, it's been that in a ton of places because I travel with it everywhere. I mean, obviously it's my product. I forgot it actually on my last snowboarding trip, and I almost ordered from Amazon to have it next day shipped.
Oh my God, I know, and everyone you can't get it on Amazon, and that's the thing I wanted to say too. It's like, to me, honestly, so to all the women sleeping with the bad boys, like, bring this with you. There's a time where they roll over, and then you can get your sheet on.
Wow.
Sorry.
Well, unintended use. Good idea.
I'm sorry. Well, no, there's a. I'm just saying. There is I really don't want to stay at your place. I'm bringing my own sheet. And when as soon as they roll over and snore, because right after that's what happens, you just whip your sheet out and you're cozy for the rest of the night. Sorry. Look, it's my new commercial for Brave Era.
Maybe change our whole marketing campaign at this point.
I know, okay. Lastly, I want to say that for women, this is such an important thing because I know men who think that women don't travel like this way, and it's
that's
women
wrong.
do travel and they do go on their own. I know you're a solo traveler too, and it's you can go in groups, and there's just women who do exactly what we're talking about, whether it's national parks. A lot of friends on Instagram are solo women travelers. Sometimes they all hook up and go camping together or whatever, but they, it's not like women are a powerful force in the tourism world, and I think you're a big part of that. So right on to you, and for working with women for products for women. I don't see very many products that they may go, okay, well, if it's clothing, your crotch is going to be different than a guy's in the hip area kind of deal. But but there's nothing with here, have some luxury while you go, and it's functional. Yeah. And I think that hats off to you for doing that. And I want to know, where's your next destination that you've never been to? Even if you haven't planned it, where do you want to go?
Oh, that is a good question. So I have never actually been to South America, and I really want to snowboard in South America, and there's many countries. I want to go to every country. I mean, almost every country in the world. So hate to limit myself, but yeah. And then also on my list, and this is kind of a far reach, but you could get there from South America. One of my friends saw. Went and explored Antarctica and got to sleep with penguins walking around in their natural habitat.
Cool.
And that is definitely a bucket list trip.
I want to do that.
I know.
I want to do that.
I love penguins.
I want to do that. Okay, real quick, because we're talking about a sheet, and you're talking about snow and snowboarding. this is the other thing. I want to make sure because, like, right now it's cold in Tucson. My little toes are getting cold. We may get snow this weekend. You never know. But not snowboarding where we are. We're in South Tucson. But we got Mount Lemon. We got Mount Lemon. But
if we get half an inch, we'd be
like we get a little dusting. Our friends in New Orleans and Natchitoches, Louisiana, all those areas are getting snow, which is cool. But
crazy, yeah.
This is something like it's an insert into your sleeping bag, right? So it's like double protection.
Exactly. So I think most of our customers use it in hotels, hostels, Airbnbs, just in a bed, and sometimes with the other sheets or comforters over them. Mm-hmm. And then we definitely have people who are using it inside a sleeping bag. But I think our customers are actually more so using it in hotels, like tented camps, just different environments that aren't necessarily camping. Yeah,
glamping. Glamping has got to be big on that. Glamping is like huge now. Yeah, it's huge. Yes. You know, we've got the clients who have a glamping resort. I remember we had to explain, like, I remember marketing it and having to explain what glamping was, you know. And it's luxury camping, and then you'd have to define it because it wasn't quite here yet. But Africa had it down a long time ago.
If you say glamorous, then you got the
glamping.
G to the L to the glamping.
But now they're getting it like glamping is good because it gets kids involved with camping because they've never been camping before, which I think is really cool. But then there's a side of me like, really? Like, I don't know. I grew up in the dirt in Africa, so like it's hard for me to even get there. So it's just kind of, I get it, but I don't. But power to it because it's getting kids and families out. So that's good. That's good. Okay, so everyone, braveera.com is the website to go. It's on Amazon as well. Pricing, what's your main pricing? Like if you think for like a full year from now, or should we just leave that because it can't? I know prices fluctuate.
No. Yeah, you know, the price of silk since I started manufacturing the product has unfortunately gone up as a commodity, but I've kept our pricing the same. So our retail price is $99.99, and we typically are keeping it on sale for as long as possible for $79.99. And again, you know, if the commodity price changes so much that higher that I can't possibly afford to keep that price, I'll have to change it. But it seems like we should be able to keep the $79.99 price. And, you know, you can wash it a ton of times. I've washed mine personally about 40 times probably. Still in great shape. Just started to, after 40 times, maybe one little stitch started to come a little loose. But that's in an apartment, you know, a really junky apartment washing machine with jeans and hoodies on regular cycle. That's not treating it kindly. I'm on purpose beating mine up because I want to know the limits of the product. You know, I really want to make sure it's going to last.
I'll let you know from mine because it's about to get some heavy duty, like work around. It's going to get some work.
You know, for me,
that's great to hear.
Because it's silk, and
it's so comfortable.
I would talk to it nicely, hand wash
give it a name,
rinse it, give it a name for sure.
And then, as women, we give everything a name.
And then thank it for keeping dust mites away from me, because.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, so we're going to play another song of yours, anything. So before you go, tell us a little bit. Are you still performing? Or tell us, everyone can go to aldenmusic.com, and that's ALDEN, aldenmusic.com. Everyone can go there. But tell us a little bit about that before we play this.
So, you know, the first song you played and then also the song Anything were two that I wrote a few years ago on spec for the 50 Shades of Grey movie. Obviously, 50 Shades ended up, you know, going with Beyonce, you know, these minor artists like Beyonce no one's ever heard of. So
out there.
So exactly. So they stayed in my catalog. I am 100% focused on Brave Era and, you know, growing out the company for the time being. But, you know, it was really fun and exciting, you know, being in the music business, making music. Who knows what will happen in the future? But yeah, for right now, I feel like I get to be so creative with the company and, you know, designing new products, working on the logos and website and branding. I mean, I'm a one-woman show over here. So anything you see that maybe even looks like there's a whole company behind it, that's by design. And that means I'm just working my tail off over here, try to make that look like that. but I get to really put, my creativity into the company. And, you and I both know the music business it's rough. And that's something I'll say, after coming out of the music business, and I kind of joke with my other entrepreneurial friends about this, especially e-commerce friends. I'm like, I can see what very few like pseudo competitors, because I wouldn't even consider we really have competitors in the space making anything at this level. I've bought all of the other products, and they don't compare. So I don't really consider we have legit competitors, but regardless, I can see all of those in a spreadsheet on my computer. Think back to the music business. I mean, there's an infinite number of competitors at any given time. So, I think it prepares you. It's like, not that this is easy, because it's certainly a lot of work, but I guess, being in an industry like, entertainment certainly gives you perspective on any other aspirations you might have.
Creativity and personalities and showmanship and showing up and all of it. It's in discipline, and some people don't have the discipline, I'm just saying, but obviously you do, and everything you're doing is quality. I've seen everything you've done, and just go on the website, everyone, braveera.com. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm so glad we connected with you, and that I have a cozy travel sheet to go around and feel all luxurious in rat-infested hotels. Thank you. Nice. Because it happens sometimes. Sorry.
It does.
There's a lot of good hotels out there, I'm just saying, but there's those moments where you suddenly realize you've been on this road trip too long, and you got to pull over and go.
And there's like, you're not
sorry,
alone.
and bring you get out of the car, put your flip flops on right then, put your money into that little thing, and then you go in, and you've got your travel sheet. You're all good. Thanks so much. Here it is. We're going to play anything.
Thank you,
so
Lisa
much
and
for
Nancy.
joining us, Nichole.
Thank you so much.
Take care, and happy travels.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
For you, I